Tonight on Cougar News, we give you a closer look at the terror group ISIS.
Plus, new details on all the campus construction.
Also, there's a new team on campus that you probably haven't heard of. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Enzo Marino.
And I'm Ariel Thompson. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. It has been confirmed that auto tech instructor Gary Sorborger suffered chest pains earlier today while waiting for another professor. He was transported by an ambulance to Henry Mayo Hospital, and currently his status is unknown. We will keep you posted on www.cougarnews.com.
ISIS is quickly becoming the focus of the international community. I had a chance to take a look at the Islamic State, and what I found might surprise you. With an estimated 31,000 foot soldiers, over $2 billion worth of cash and assets, and over 13,000 square miles under its control, the Islamic State is a threat the world can no longer ignore. COC political science professor Dr. Majid Mosleh believes the threat from ISIS should not be taken lightly.
And unfortunately, over the years, we've noticed that their presence in various parts of the Middle East has grown to the extent that they seem to be completely out of control. And they're sort of growing and mushrooming throughout the Middle East.
The expansion of the Islamic State throughout the Middle East is not the only cause for concern.
Al-Qaeda's objectives seem to be more or less clear. They have an agenda, whereas ISIS's agenda is something that is not really well known to us. We know that they're very much action-oriented, that they've engaged in very strange activities such as massacring people, committing crimes against humanity, beheading journalists and innocent civilians. But certainly their perception of government and politics is something that is not really clear to us, and even in the intelligence community.
It might be hard to imagine how a terrorist organization over thousands of miles away can have an effect on residents right here in Santa Clarita. But a growing number of Americans are quickly realizing that if left unchecked, the threat from ISIS can have consequences anywhere in the world.
We are susceptible, we are vulnerable, and it could happen. If it happened in the Middle East, it could happen here. If it happened in Latin America, it could happen to us here. And ever since the 9/11 terrorist attacks, I think everyone is impacted. Terrorism has become relevant for most Americans.
The threat of ISIS will certainly continue to make headlines around the world. The content of those headlines, however, is not so certain. For Cougar News, I'm Enzo Marino.
Last week, Tony Strickland held a town hall meeting at the Paseo Club addressing the issues of jobs and education. Our own Skylar Barty was there to give us all the details.
Earlier this month, congressional candidate Tony Strickland hosted a town hall meeting at the Paseo Club. The meeting kept its focus on jobs and education for the 25th District and how citizens can fix the problems facing the nation.
Longest recession in our nation's history.
The meeting featured 4 experts, including a former chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and a COC board member.
We need to get rid of the system in which you got $100 million for your budget, and if you spend all of it, we're going to give you $105 million.
We should be looking for the number.
By reaching out to the community, Tony proved to have the people's support.
We've seen what he can do in Sacramento, and now we want to see what he can do in Washington, D.C.
Strickland was even able to change minds.
Listens to his constituents.
With the congressional race still underway, Mr. Strickland is doing what he can to secure the vote this November. And he wants to keep an open line of communication to the people he represents.
Tony is a communicator. He knows how to call people, and he knows how to answer his phone.
This gentleman is exactly right. I call, I get Tony. He'll take your call.
Be our next congressman. And I must say, I'm a proud American first. I'm a proud American first, and I'm a proud Democrat. And even though I'm a Democrat, I will be voting for Tony Strickland.
And I'm just very grateful that you're here. We do these, I do these town halls
For Cougar News, I'm Skylar Barty.
One of the most iconic roller coasters in Southern California caught fire recently, and Cougar News was the first at the scene. The flames damaged the Colossus track at Six Flags Magic Mountain last week. The peak of the famous wooden coaster has collapsed as a result. Park officials say workers were using heat equipment to disassemble the track when it caught fire. Luckily, the park was closed Monday, so there was no evacuations and no injuries were reported.
We didn't put any firemen on the roller coaster. We just got it from the ground, so it was defensive, and we got a handle on it pretty quick.
You know, kind of make your heart skip a little bit, knowing that that timber is all dry. Probably could have gone up very quickly. Luckily, LA County Fire was here and getting water on it real fast.
The fire will not delay the opening of Twisted Colossus, which is expected to open in spring 2015.
The Santa Clarita Valley was the scene of 2 home invasion robberies last week. 3 suspects posing as police officers forced their way into a Canyon Country home, handcuffing the victims, stealing their cell phones and a few other items. The second incident happened the following night on Emerald Dove Drive in Valencia, just across from College of the Canyons. Cougar News has learned one of the residents went to take out the trash in his backyard when 2 African American males believed to be in their 20s pointed a gun at his head, forcing him back into the house, not expecting anybody to be home. The suspects used the man and his wife's shoelaces to tie the couple up, and then took their wedding rings.
I think now, especially after a horrific incident like this, is a good time to talk about, talking to your neighbors, knowing what's going on in your specific neighborhood. If something is suspicious, even if it is a high-end car or somebody wearing nice clothes, if you don't think it's right, jot down a license plate, make a couple notes, call law enforcement, let us check it out. Don't be afraid to have that little bit of suspicion as to, what's going on in your neighborhood.
Increasing the minimum wage can have a positive effect on local businesses, but others say it will do just the opposite. Cougar News reporter Melissa Lopez takes a look at how Los Angeles proposed a minimum wage hike that can have an adverse effect on consumers in Santa Clarita.
Minimum wage in the city of Santa Clarita, Los Angeles, and California is at $9 an hour. But in Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti plans to raise the minimum wage to $13.25 an hour by 2017. Many proponents say the increase will be of value to those in need, but people opposed to the minimum wage hike believe it would only decrease the amount of jobs and could raise the prices of products.
The city of Santa Clarita has not discussed whether or not they'll raise minimum wage, but surveys have shown that residents are willing to commute to the city of Los Angeles for higher wages.
Yeah, we know that half our residents leave Santa Clarita to go to their jobs in Los Angeles, and we've also asked previously our residents if they would take a pay cut to move their job up to Santa Clarita, and for the past couple of years they've said no. They're more interested in the higher paying job than in reducing their commute.
Local business owners believe if the minimum wage were to increase, there can be a positive to it, but also there would be a negative impact to their customers.
It could be negative for my restaurant because I have to raise my prices, which the customers in turn will feel the effects of it.
The economy in Santa Clarita is doing well, but again, there has not been a discussion on a raise to the minimum wage. For Cougar News, I'm Melissa Lopez.
The weather lately has been all over the map. If only there was somebody here to talk to us about it.
I know, the weather has been crazy. It's been extremely hot, but I think Felicia has a lot more information on it.
That's right. Mother Nature has been giving Southern California everything but fall weather this week. The Los Angeles metro area reached the upper 90s, while the Inland Empire went from a high 108 in Saugus to lightning, heavy rain, and hail yesterday. The lightning caused a brush fire near southbound Highway 14 at Soledad Canyon Road in Acton around 5 p.m., according to LA County Fire officials. As the NFL heads into its 3rd week, the NFL Players Association is appealing Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice's indefinite suspension for domestic violence. But Adrian Peterson won't be suiting up this Sunday. Peterson and the NFL agreed he should sit while his legal case over child abuse charges proceeds in Texas. We want to hear what you think. Weigh in and tweet us at @COC_Cougar News with the hashtag #2lax or hashtag #2harsh. on the NFL's treatment on both players. And here's something LeBron never did. New York now has a three-peat in the Miss America pageant. Miss New York, Kira Kazantsev, performed a pitch-perfect cup rendition of Pharrell Williams' hit song, Happy, which many say is what led her to win the title. And that's what's trending. I'm Felisa Gardenas. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at cougarnews.com. And that's all I have for you guys this week.
Thanks, Felisa. On the anniversary of one of the darkest days in U.S. history, both College of the Canyons and Santa Clarita commemorated those who were lost in the 9/11 attacks. Brandon Iriarte tells us more.
September 11th, 2001. A day that will never be forgotten. 13 years later, we still grieve the ones that were lost that day. Here at College of the Canyons, ASG created a memorial display to honor those who lost their lives on that horrific day. An important day for all Americans, COC pays its own tribute to our fallen, as you can see with these flags planted on the grass. Now, we look to Santa Clarita to see what it has planned for this special day. An event created by Hands On Santa Clarita, the 9/11 Day of Service and Remembrance took place at the Valencia Mall. Volunteers helped set up the event, knowing the importance of a day like this.
For me, it's about giving back. It's about remembering that event and realizing what we can do to serve, whether it's our country, whether it's our community, whether it's our state, some way that we can honor those that were lost at 9/11.
Whether the person is a volunteer, a council member, or even a family dad, 9/11 has affected them all. Some more than others, everyone had a unique experience as they recalled the event from their perspective.
I woke up early on 9/11, getting ready for work, when a friend called and told me one of the towers had been hit. Watched as the second plane struck the second tower, and I had worked in that tower just a few years prior.
I lost maybe 2 friends that I could recall. I wasn't in New York, but being in California and just knowing that friends and family were hurt, and it's very traumatizing.
With 13 years passing since the tragic event, has the significance of 9/11 diminished over the years?
I certainly hope that that's not the case, that 9/11 remains a day that Americans will remember for eternity.
As of today, people still remember the event like it was yesterday. And with events like the COC Memorial Display and the Hands-On Day of Remembrance, we may truly never forget. For Cougar News, I'm Brandon Iriarte.
An evening of remembrance brought the community together to commemorate lives lost and also inspire others. Chantel Del Aguila has more.
Friends and family of Santa Clarita gathered around for the 9th annual Youth Grove Evening of Remembrance held in Central Park. Officer John Lutz explains the importance of this yearly event.
We're here tonight because we wanted to remember the youth in this valley that have lost their lives from senseless traffic collisions for multiple reasons, whether it be reckless driving or driving under the influence or texting and driving or simply not wearing their seatbelt. We're here as not only a community, but there are family members here. It's a very touching thing that we do every year.
The half-acre memorial bears the names of young teens who've passed away.
There are 91 names here at this site. That is 91 too many. We are here tonight to honor those young lives lost, those who have placed loved ones' names here are ensuring that their memory lives on to serve a greater purpose.
Alice Reynolds, a caring mother who lost her 2 sons, continues to honor their lives with a poem.
Love lives on. Those we love remain with us, for love itself lives on, and cherished memories never fade, because of loved ones gone. Those we love can never be more than a thought apart, for as long as there is memory, they'll live on in our heart.
With so many lives already lost, the community is moving forward in hopes of preventing further lives being taken. The message here today was that texting can wait. For Cougar News, I'm Chantel Del Aguila.
Coming up on Cougar News, we'll give you a closer look at a new event in a local bookstore.
Plus, we give you the latest in entertainment news. Stay tuned.
Are you still looking for your school? College of the Canyons is located on scenic rolling hills with competitive programs such as new media journalism, state-of-the-art sports facilities, and a culinary arts program that will be opening their brand new building with 3 state-of-the-art test kitchens. At only $46 a unit, you will discover that COC is the community college for you. Find out more at www.canyons.edu.
I'm Richard Horvitz.
I'm Tara Strong.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamarelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
I'm the Grinch. And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. You're watching Cougar News. So this is for the older ladies.
And I'm a cougar.
Welcome back to Cougar News. You may be wondering what's been happening with all of the construction on campus. College of the Canyons is making great progress in their new buildings. The school will be opening a new student service building and a culinary arts building on the Valencia campus. Chief Development Officer Murray Wood gives us a closer look.
It's going to be what I call the food TV kitchen. It's audience style, and we'll have the latest electronic and digital equipment, and it's for guest chefs to come in.
We have about 18,000 students per semester right now. The old building was built in the early 1980s when the campus capacity was estimated to be about 5,000 students. So we've outgrown that facility, and so it was time to build something new that can serve the number of students that we currently have on the campus.
So as you're coming through here, we picture and envision this as being like the students' one-stop shop here to get all of their registration done for classes if they have to. There's going to be computers here that they can use to register online.
The new buildings will be open to students by spring 2015.
People might pick up the guitar to express creativity or play in a band, even though to impress the love of your life. But for one STV resident, they play to send a message. Antonio Curiel has the story.
My name's Grant McIver, and I'm a musician. What I'm trying to do is spread the word of music throughout the whole, basically in Newhall, throughout Main Street, Market, trying to get everybody to smile. If I come out for 4 hours for one day and have one person smiling, I've done my job.
Grant has been playing once a week at Bonanza Market on Main Street in Newhall for nearly a year now. Usually there Fridays, day or night. And sure, the tips are great and all, but it's people stopping by to listen. It's what he appreciates the most.
When I came out with the Metrolink, I saw him playing. He played songs for me, like Pink Floyd, a couple of other music, rock and roll, back in the 70s. And I tip him once in a while, $1 or $2. But he's a good player. He sings songs off his head.
After many years of playing with bands, Grant has decided that going solo would be best for his mission as a musician.
If you're going to go on a from an Amtrak to a Newhall Metrolink train, and say like this is your stop right here, and you want to get a drink, and you see me playing the guitar, you're going to go, Newhall has some culture. And to me, that's the most important thing I want to bring to the community, to Santa Clarita.
For Cougar News, Antonio Curiel.
Is One Direction headed in a new direction? And why is Robin Thicke's memory suddenly blurry with his recent legal troubles? Lindsay and Alyssa answer in the first entertainment report of the year.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cougar News Entertainment. I'm Lindsay Maxitopoulos.
And I'm Alyssa Dicker. It's been a long summer and we have a lot of entertainment to catch you up on.
Preview.
What are you doing?
Just practicing.
Practicing for what?
Well, it's open mic night coming up, and Ariel Thompson is actually about to tell us all about it, so let's check it out.
All right.
Ooh.
Are you a college student tired of only getting recognition in a classroom or at work? If you're ready for your 5 minutes of fame, join us on October 15 at 8 p.m. for COC's Performing Arts Center 10-year anniversary and first ever open mic night.
At 15 minutes of fame here in Santa Clarita, where you get the chance to become the star. To get that information, you want to go to the website at www.canyonspac.com. That's canyonspac.com. Has all the details, the application for you to register and sign up to become the star on stage. And if you're interested in purchasing tickets to see your friends on stage, you can do that from the box office here at the Performing Arts Center. Our phone number is 661-362-5304. So we hope to see you out here during our 10th year celebration, a season of celebration at the Performing Arts Center.
For Cougar News, I'm Ariel Thompson.
Love you, Harry. I'm sure 60,000 screaming girls thought so as well over the past weekend. They performed at the Rose Bowl, and it nearly sold out all 3 nights.
Oh my gosh.
Good for the guys, yeah?
Good for them.
If you didn't get a chance to see your favorite UK band perform in California, don't worry. They're planning on going on tour again, featuring their upcoming new album, 4. And don't forget to check out their newest single, Steal Your Girl, that will be available to download off of iTunes September 29th. So it turns out Robin Thicke is in a little bit of trouble.
Some people think he's crossed the line, but for a few, the lines are still a little blurry.
Yes, indeed. Marvin Gaye's family is actually suing Pharrell, T.I., and Robin Thicke for their 2013 hit single, Blurred Lines, because it sounds a little too similar to his track, Gotta Get On Up.
And Robin Thicke is actually denying that because he says that he showed up to producing it and he was high on Vicodin and alcohol.
So he's throwing Pharrell under the bus there a little bit, so we'll see what happens with that one.
Yep.
Sticky situation.
Well, that's it for the entertainment segment today. I'm Lindsay Maxitopoulos.
And I'm Alyssa Dicker. For more entertainment news, check out our website, www.cougarnews.com.
Beauty and the Beast took over the Performing Arts Center this past weekend, giving us a classic with a twist. The ballet version gives us a different translation than what you're normally used to. Filled with amazing sets and choreography, it was truly a different experience on this classic tale. The production featured charming music, amazing dancing, and a beautiful set production.
Beauty and the Beast, not only amazing dancing, an inspiring story, wonderful music, and amazing costumes.
It's a really whimsical production. I like a lot of the music is beautiful, and I think Miss Girl's done a really great job of capturing each type of character.
A new monthly event featuring artists, poets, and musicians were all presented at the Barnes & Noble bookstore in Valencia. Oscar Rogel was there to capture the art and the sound.
All right, this is Expression Sessions, our first event.
On the second Saturday of each month from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., Barnes & Nobles in Valencia is hosting a new event called Expression Sessions.
Them's what knows she'll come around, or them's that hear no other sound.
This is called Expression Sessions. It's an open mic for poets and songwriters to come and display their material. So it's a showcase for them, for original material only.
Barnes & Nobles is a place where people can come out and purchase a new book or enjoy a great read. But not today.
I gotta push on through, cause no one else will do it. That's life, my existence. Ain't nothing that special to it.
Why doesn't Santa Clarita have one? Because there really wasn't anything like this.
So this is a perfect place to be able to put out a word about, some of your art. So I appreciate that. It's always interesting. It's new every time you go out and do something like this.
And so it's always nice to play to a new audience, to gain exposure and meet new people.
You have to woo the spirit of the people. The
bodies will then follow. Into let the trail fall.
I enjoy seeing artists expressing themselves, and I enjoy the freshness of the new material that they're presenting.
Mainly a creative outlet because they want to express, use their creative art, whether it's music, song, or poetry. They do want to let it out. It really is about, bringing the communities together and bringing the art to the people.
This monthly event is open and free to the public and open to all ages for anyone looking to perform their original material. Reporting for Cougar News and SCV TV, I am Oscar Rogel.
A new art exhibit has opened up at the COC Art Gallery. On September 2nd, College of the Canyons opened its first fall exhibit. Nationally renowned artist May Sun was invited to display her work at the COC Art Gallery located in Mentry Hall. The exhibit is called In Studio and Out in Public and will include recent studio work and many examples of field art. May Sun uses several mediums to create her art. These include artwork performed by photography, painting, sculpting, and even video to give a unique blend to this exhibit. College of the Canyons Art Gallery is open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. May's exhibit will run all the way to October 2nd.
You may have heard about the Vineyard on campus, but probably not sure what it is that they do. Alyssa Dickert gives us a preview of what's in store for the Vineyard next week.
COC's Vineyard is already producing juicy grapes. Stay tuned for next show as we take a closer look into the Vineyard and the Wine Studies program.
Still to come on Cougar News, we'll give you a nutritious and delicious way to start your day.
Plus, the Foothill League football season is in full swing. We'll tell you more after the break.
In the mood for endless Italian dishes, Vincenzo's Pizza is your one-stop shop.
From their hand-tossed thin crust pizzas, to their meaty Chicago dogs and their toasty sandwiches,
to their creamy chicken Alfredo pasta.
I love their chicken Alfredo pasta.
Vincenzo's New Hall has exactly what your appetite desires.
With fresh ingredients, 12 cold beers on tap, and live entertainment on the weekend, you will not be disappointed.
Vincenzo's Pizza, inch for inch, the best pizza in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Knock out cancer! You're watching Cougar News!
Back with Cougar News, it's time for Nutrition Inspiration. Many have noticed how popular juicing has become, while others find it to be a hassle. Our own Haiti Mejia Boyle has a few tips on how to make it a little easier.
Every morning I get up and say, today I'm going to make myself a green juice. But then I'm in a rush to get ready for work and I don't have time to chop up all the ingredients. So I decided to pick one day and chop them all up and put them in mason jars for the whole week. The glass helps preserve the freshness. Now all I have to do is open the fridge and grab an already prepped jar. I just plop it all into my blender and voila! I'm ready to start my day off healthy.
The beginning of the semester is always a great time for sports. There's always so much going on.
Of course. Darian, COC football had a game last Saturday. How'd that go?
Well, although Cougar football hasn't started the season as planned, the team is confident they'll come back this week and pick up their first win. I had a chance to talk to the team in this week's football update. 0-2 is not ideal for starting out a football season, but one word can change that.
That's never the plan. We want to win every game, but I think just execution would be the best word to define what we need to do in order to be victorious on Saturday.
This Saturday, they have another chance to get a win. Even though Santa Ana is 2-0, they still remain confident.
I think we're ready. I mean, I think we're a young team and we've been getting better each week. So we're excited that it's still preseason, so at least that doesn't affect our overall conference play. But we're excited to, try to go out and get our first victory.
COC's defensive coordinator, Coach Corbett, says it's all about executing.
Obviously, if we were to look at their games and our games, I think they've executed a little bit better than we have, and that's why they've won a couple of close games. So I think, it really just comes back down to execution.
Safety Austin Murillo says the work this week will give them a better chance to win Saturday.
I feel really good about it. We're going to make a lot of changes this week. We haven't been executing like we want to, and we're going to just watch a lot of film and get ready for them, make sure we're prepared.
Wide receiver Tim White says that hard work is the way to a win.
Obviously there's a little bit of, oh, we're 0-2, a little bit of panic, but I think we're going to be good, as long as we stay positive and keep working harder towards winning.
When you're 0-2, there's no room for mistakes.
We've already seen probably one of the best teams in the country in Mount Sac, and there was times where we were in that game and we've executed better. Who knows what would have happened, but so I think we can play with anybody. We just need to keep executing.
Despite their 0-2 start, the Cougars are still confident in their season. They play this Saturday against Santa Ana. For Cougar News, I'm Darna Nori. COC will look to redshirt sophomores Earl Johnson and Tim White to help turn things around now. White and Johnson have not always taken the easy route, but both have found a way to turn things around and become players to watch each and every game. Cougar News sports reporter Matt Robinson has more.
With COC football in the thick of another season, two redshirt sophomores, Earl Johnson and Tim White, are looking to enjoy their final season at COC. While things were not always easy for both Johnson and White, each one saw an immediate turnaround when they were pushed into the football team's on-field and off-field training program.
I'll say the coaches and being around the people and, just this organization just changed everything for me. So,
I would say the discipline. That definitely improved since high school. It wasn't as big. It was still big at heart, but here they really implemented in us to be disciplined and do what we need to do.
Each was a top performer in high school, with White coming from Hart High and Johnson coming from Golden Valley, and both have a single motivation for continuing their success on the field and in the classroom.
Family. Yeah. My dad, he's contacting me every day, letting me know, keep pushing and keep doing what I need to do in class, because without class you can't go anywhere.
Like most of my family members, they're telling me like, okay, you have to get on this right path and stuff like that. So I can honestly say it's my family. They the one that got me on the right track.
While neither has any firm offers from future schools at the moment, both players are definitely ones to look out for in the NCAA ranks next season. Matt Robinson, Cougar News.
Moving over to high school football now, Foothill League preseason favorite Valencia took a trip down the 405 to take on the number 7 ranked Chaminade Eagles in a primetime football matchup. We head out to the Gold Star Stadium where the Eagles and Vikings took to the field for what was sure to be an exciting matchup. The Vikings offense got off to a speedy start as Parkinson's was able to walk into the end zone nearly untouched after a strong opening drive to give Valencia a 7-0 lead. Chaminade would even the game at 7 with 28 seconds remaining in the first quarter when Cias would find Chin in the end zone for this 30-yard touchdown pass. Cias and Chin would hook up again early in the second quarter on this 87-yard catch and run by Chin to give Chaminade their first lead of the ball game, which was 14-7. And watch this handoff to the ref. He's like, here you go. I don't need that anymore. Whoop, there it is. Then it was Langley that took over the game for the Eagles, rushing for 138 yards and 2 scores, including this one to help Chaminade out with a 28-7 lead. Valencia would close the lead 28-14 before the half on this rush by Stone Jackson on his score of the ball game. Chaminade defense would be the story of the second half, keeping Valencia from closing the gap further, including a 4th and short situation late in the game against J.J. Wilson. and eventually going on to win the game 38-20. The #1 team in the Foothill League, the West Ranch Wildcats, took on Knight High School at the Valencia High Stadium, showing them how their new offense can keep up with the other pass-happy teams atop the Foothill League. The pack is loud and ready to go, and the Wildcats would come out firing on all cylinders, scoring early and often, including this hard-working score by Tyler Mao. He would open up to an early lead for West Ranch, and you can see him there in the end zone getting those 6 points, and you can tell he gets up and he's pumped for that one. The Wildcats would continue to punish Knight along the ground, getting a little bit of luck as Kyle Klippenstein would fall on the ball in the end zone after a Bronson Fewer fumble. And then next, the Wildcat defense was extremely strong in the first half, holding Knight to 0 points and forcing 2 turnovers, including this interception by Adam Varga Thompson to close out the first half for the Wildcats 28-0. And the offense would kick it up in the second half, extending their lead further on this TD pass by Clark to Klippenstein in the back of the end zone as the Wildcats up big. They would add more this time on a big play as Clark finds Zachary Hines for a 55-yard catch and run as the Wildcats would cruise to a victory 43-12. Fresh off a deep run in the CIF postseason a year ago, that momentum has vanished when Hart dropped the first 2 games of the new year. So a win over Paraclete this last Friday was an absolute must for them. Like the sultry weather hanging around the Cougar Stadium, Hart's offense toasted the Spirits from the very start. ASU-bound Brady White found Blake Fall and Fall stands tall and Spirits to the end zone 14-zip. And it didn't end there. White fires to Fall over the middle, and Fall has a series speed and he outruns the Paraclete to the end zone. Fall with 3 touchdowns in the first half. Hart led 28-3 by halftime. But the Indians really went to hard work after the break. Look at Nelson James. He blasts his way 42 yards to the heart of the Paraclete D. Hart led 35-11. And yet, another Hart touchdown. White, feeling greedy, airs it out for Trent Irwin. And the senior will not be caught. Hart's first win of the season is an absolute blowout over Paraclete, 49-11. Golden Valley was looking to keep the pace in the Foothill League after a disappointing loss to Royal a week earlier, hosting Crescenta Valley at Canyon High School. We see the GV team is ready to go from the sidelines, and we start in the 4th quarter where Julian Torres scores on this very long catch and run from quarterback Victor Corona as Golden Valley tries to come back against Crescenta Valley to get with that TD. Later in the 4th quarter, Julian Torres again with another touchdown. He was on fire that game. But the Grizzlies just couldn't stop Crescenta Valley, ending in a 48-27 loss. Switching gears and heading back to the college ranks, the COC men's soccer team has gone off to a strong start, winning 2 of their first 3 games of the season before taking on Santa Monica College yesterday at COC. We start early in the second half. Canyons up 2-1 when a Cougar goal is disallowed on an offsides call, which would hurt the Cougars later. Santa Monica would come back to tie the game 2-2 on this unassisted strike by Racone before the Cougars could retake the lead on Gamboa's first goal of the season to put Canyons up 3-2. Santa Monica would even the game with a free kick strike by Knudsen as the game would end in a 3-3 tie. When you think of sports on campus, football and baseball may come to mind. But what you don't think about is a sport that only fills a spotlight every 4 years. Heather Harbin tells us that COC students won't have to wait that long anymore.
Most students don't know about the competitive dive team here on campus. There's only 3 members on this team, but they do a pretty good job, ranging from experienced and just starting.
Well, I think it was a lot of fun for me just doing the flips into the pool. It's a lot of fun going to the meets and competing and learning. You're here to learn by progressions and steady progress and hard work paying off.
The program's pretty good. When it comes to like beginners like him, I pretty much work more with him, getting him back up to date.
Seems really helpful. People are really nice. I love it so far.
So if you're interested in joining, no matter your skill level, the team is always looking for new divers.
Come by the COC pool Monday through Thursday, 12:50 to 2. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Heather Harvin.
The COC golf team had a chance to give back to the community this week, hosting a free public golf clinic at COC. The College of the Canyons golf teams brought the community together one swing at a time by offering free golf lessons to the public.
The men's and women's golf team gets so much from the college. The college supports us in such an amazing way that we're just trying to pay back a little bit.
Peterson says that in not only helping out the community with their game, the players will also strengthen their golf game as well.
It's effective for golfers of any level to give lessons, to kind of think about the fundamentals of golf as they communicate with a beginning golfer or someone who's struggling with their game. Because simply by looking at another person's swing, helping them solve a problem, they will often help themselves in part of their game.
You know, I'm not a math major, but I'm pretty
Do you know where they're going to be doing the chocolate
Thursdays on
painting?
Main Street in Newhall continued last week with their monthly art slam. This year's theme, chocolate. One local bakery by the name of Cocolitas, owned by Martha Cocolita, provided celebrity-inspired cakes as well as empanadas and cupcakes.
And we made a cupcake for it. So this is our Chanel, inspired by Coco Chanel's favorite dessert, and this is Pinup Queen, inspired by Betty Page's favorite things.
This is a mint leaf. This is an apricot gelée, chocolate mousse, and then there's a pressed strawberry on the bottom.
A well-known chocolatier by the name of Robin Robbins displayed a complex and detailed sculpture made solely of chocolate. She also shared with us that she has taught several culinary classes here at College of the Canyons and wishes to teach more in the future.
And then a touch of cumin. I do encourage you to be gentle with the cumin, otherwise it starts to swell.
Do you want a sample?
The night ended with one exhibit that featured chocolate hands of young children to represent human trafficking and slavery in West Africa. Nearly 10 years ago, major players in the chocolate industry pledged to eliminate this travesty. Reporting for Cougar News, I am Abby Gutierrez.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Ariel Thompson. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Enzo Marino. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to cougarnews@canyons.edu. Have a good night, everybody.